Wow, I'm really off my game today. I just did this video 3 times. First time, I ran out of space. Second time, I did not press record. And right now, I finally realized that I was not recording the whole time. And I have to do this for the third time. Because my first time I did, it was in 4K. I ran out of memory. My shirt was completely dirty. So thank God for these things here. Because I'm not used to being in front of the camera. I'd much rather be behind it. But since I have so many pets, my shirt gets dirty all the time. And I really tend to forget about it until I'm in post-production. And then by then it's usually too late. So kind of glad it happened that I had to redo this thing a couple of different times. But at the same time, kind of not. Because it's the third time. Anyways, we did some testing in the fake second take because it was not recording, and that will be playing here on the side to simulate or duplicate the problem I was trying to accomplish. So you'll see some video pop up. It will be about flickering within the Ninja 5. The Ninja 5 has an issue with flickering when it comes to low light, meaning if you're pushing your ISO, you're probably going to start seeing some flickering within there. Now, the only time I've seen that flickering happen is when there's not enough light in your scene. So there's a lot of dark areas that the camera is trying to, or the Ninja is trying to retrieve data from. So since it's trying to retrieve data, it's trying to push more light in there so it can take data from it. And that's the reason I believe it's flickering. 2, it doesn't seem to happen that much in low ISO. If you're getting it at a higher ISO, and for higher ISO I mean right now anything over 400, because that's when you see noise grain more defined in your footage. Viewers said is that ProRes RAW is much like RAW. It's a RAW file, meaning that nothing gets done to the file itself until post-production. When he started saying that, it kind of makes sense from a photographer's point of view. There's nothing done to a RAW file so you can work on it. In photography, we only have one still. In video, there's 24 frames in 1 second. So there's a lot of motion between one and the other, and there's probably shifting going on of light. Then of course, you're going to start noticing noise a lot more. Since there hasn't been any noise reduction applied, the more so. Think about ProRes RAW as a RAW file. And I think that's the reason why we're seeing so much more grain. And as soon as we start going up the ISO, the faster you'll see it, because there's so many stills in 1 second that it cannot keep up with it. Maybe it will get addressed later, since ProRes RAW and any other RAW formats are being now used more broadly. The noise is going to be something that they will address much sooner than expected. That aspect is not very well developed. It sucks. On Premiere it sucks. So I mean, like, that's why I never use it. I mean, I try to work with what I have as far as sliders within the Lumetri scopes, and that's it. Aside from anything else, I don't use it. Well, I just looked over at my computer and I just saw that I just purchased something called Swiftly Studio. They're transitioning effects that I just purchased for 39 bucks. I bought it in between takes here when I was transferring everything to the computer, and I just saw that I just completely finished downloading. So I'll test it out. If it's any good, I'll put it in the description later today. Maybe you guys would want to use it. They seem to be very nice transitions. Anyways, so that's the noise issue, or the flickering issue with the Ninja. If it was replicated in the prior test, which I filmed with a DA10 that's being aimed directly here, then we got it. If we couldn't replicate it, well, maybe I'll try to figure out when it actually happens and when we can get it to happen again in some other video. The other thing I want to touch upon was file sizes. In my prior videos, in one of them, 24 minutes, ProRes RAW, 4K, 24 frames per second turned out to be 182 gigs. That's a lot of memory. Still probably not as large as it would be in other formats, but still, that's quite large. 1080p though, regular high def video kind of equates to only 1 gig per minute, which would have taken probably 24 gigs for that file. I mean, that's the reason why I was saying the files were so small, because 1080, the files they're more manageable, they're not that large, but 4K are just like, they're just way beyond what I need to shoot. So that's the reason why now I went back to 1080 again, so we can film right now, so I can do this thing, because right now for this, we don't really need 4K, and 1080 is more than enough. Then I can upsample and hoping that it will still look equally as good. And the reason why I brought that up is because of what I mentioned earlier. If some areas are dark, then the file sizes tend to get larger. And that's exactly what happened that day. I was going through different scenes, and there was a lot of times where the backdrop or anything I was doing here got dimmer, and thus the files got larger. If you want to capture more, shoot with more light. That's as simple as it gets with ProRes RAW. I just wanted this to be a casual conversation about where I was going with all of this, where it has the Luma wave and the false colors taking me to. And it's taking me to a whole new foundation right now, a new level as to how we should be capturing and what I should be doing in my next videos. Now I have a better understanding of what this is and what it can do and how much it can do. Thank you. If you're a subscriber, I appreciate you being here and watching this. If you're not, please do. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, please don't give it a thumbs down. In fact, if you don't like the video, please leave me a comment and tell me what it is about it that you didn't like so that I can address it, somehow become better, or even yet make a new video about it where I address it completely. I really appreciate your thoughts, and I appreciate everyone that puts any input into anything I produce. I still got 12 days left. 12 days left, or 11 now. So this is video 9, so 11 days left to complete this challenge. I hope I can make it. Thank you guys. I'll see you next time.